Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back with another subscriber requested video for you. So I have got 5 fragrances here from my collection that have a very prominent honeysuckle note. I wish I had more honeysuckle perfumes because I actually love honeysuckle. It's one of my favorite floral notes. I love how sweet it is. I love how fresh it is. I don't think I've ever had a bad experience with honeysuckle in perfume. So I also just realized that Jovan makes a honeysuckle perfume. I can't remember what it's called, maybe fresh honeysuckle or something honeysuckle. And now I feel like I need to track down a bottle of it because I didn't even know it existed. But anyways, I've got 5 fragrances here. I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna start with one of the most honeysuckle forward fragrances in my collection, and that is a fragrance from Dreamhouse Curio. This is called Beij Floral. This is honeysuckle, coconut, and milk, I believe. This is like a sweet, milky, kind of slightly beachy coconut. This one could really be worn any time of year. This is one of my favorite fragrances in the summertime. This is one of my vacation fragrances. I take this with me anytime I take a trip in the summertime because it's just like the perfect vacation scent. I love how the coconut is not overpowering in this at all. It's not like a gourmand coconut, it's a perfumey coconut, and it's blended beautifully. It doesn't overpower the honeysuckle. And then the milk just adds this really gorgeous like creaminess to it without being too heavy. It's just blended beautifully. Super, super long lasting. You can get a good 10, 12 hours out of this. So you don't ever have to worry about reapplying it, which is great, especially when you're on vacation, which again is why I always take this one with me. It's just a gorgeous honeysuckle forward scent. One of the only really like very honeysuckle forward fragrances that I've got in my collection. So anyways, that is the first one. That is Dreamhouse Curio Beij Floral. Okay, this next one, this is such an unusual scent. This is a fragrance from Elizabeth and James, and this is Nirvana Amethyst. This one, if I remember correctly, this one is, I think this is one of the harder ones to get at this point. They have sadly discontinued this one. This one is only 3 notes, and the only 2 notes that I remember are tobacco and honeysuckle, which is such a gorgeous combination. The honeysuckle sweetens the tobacco up really, really beautifully and also keeps the tobacco from being too masculine. I don't have too many tobacco scents in my collection just because they tend to go masculine on me very easily. This one does not though. This one, because it's got that really beautiful sweet honeysuckle note in it, it really keeps the tobacco more on the feminine side rather than a masculine tobacco. It's really beautiful. This one is warm. I typically wear this one more in the fall. It's not quite heavy enough for the winter, and it's just really beautiful in the fall. This one can also be worn as a transition scent going from winter into spring when you're kind of in that time period where it's still too cold to really pull out spring florals, and you still want something kind of cozy, but you're really wanting something lighter than those heavy winter scents. This is like a perfect transition scent because you've still got that warm, sweet tobacco, but you've got that really beautiful, bright, sweet honeysuckle note. It's beautiful. I love this. This is one of my favorite Elizabeth and James scents. I think this one is super, super underrated. Nirvana Bourbon gets hyped up a ton, but this one is just, it's such an underrated little gem. So anyways, that is Elizabeth and James Nirvana Amethyst. Okay, this next one, this is Juicy Couture Viva Lajicy La Fleur, and this has a really, really beautiful honeysuckle note in it that you can definitely smell. This smells like Viva Lajicy, but this has a much lighter like scent profile to it. It still has that kind of caramely, that kind of sweet caramely base to it that Viva Lajicy has, but this is much lighter. And this has a really, really beautiful, sweet, bright honeysuckle note in it. Ooh, that you can definitely smell when you spray it. This is a really, really sweet scent though. You have to like sweet florals to enjoy this one, but it's not nearly as sweet as the original Viva Lajicy, but it is still quite sweet. And the honeysuckle definitely contributes to that sweetness, which I really, really love. But yeah, there's not too much to say about this one. It wears really well. This one really can be worn all year round. I prefer this one in the spring. This is also a great transition scent going from winter into spring because it still has, it's like light, but this still has like a, I don't know, it still has kind of a heaviness to it because of that like sweet base. So yeah, this one wears really well on me. Last time I wore this though, it didn't smell good on me. So this is one that I'm kind of waiting. I'm gonna test this again when it cools off just a little bit. And then if it still doesn't smell good on me, this one unfortunately is gonna end up in a declutter, but it is really, really beautiful. And if you have the skin chemistry for it, I think you would really like it. But yeah, it does have a really gorgeous honeysuckle note in it. So anyways, that is Juicy Couture Viva Lajicy Le Fleur. Okay, the next one, I just wore this one not long ago, so I know this one smells really good on me. This is a dossier dupe of Gucci Flora. This is Floral Honeysuckle, and it's got such a prominent honeysuckle note in it. This is another one that, like Beij Fleur, it's got such a prominent honeysuckle note in it. I can smell it immediately. And I love it because I can smell the honeysuckle on my skin as well. In fact, this has tuberose in it, but I get the honeysuckle and the jasmine even more than I get the tuberose. It's really beautiful. Nothing groundbreaking. I mean, Gucci Flora isn't like a groundbreaking scent, but it is a really, really beautiful, easy to reach for floral, can be worn really all year round. Has a very prominent honeysuckle note in it. And yeah, it's just a really, really gorgeous floral. This, I just wore this maybe like a month ago, and in brutal high heat, and it performed beautifully. It smelled great, performed really well. I was able to smell it pretty much all day, probably 6, 7, 8 hours easily, if not more. It's just a really good scent. The dossier dupe is a really nice dupe. Anything that I have a dossier dupe of that I don't have the actual fragrance, the reason I don't have the actual fragrance is because the dossier dupe is really good. So the dossier dupe of this one is really, really good. It's like 29 bucks, which is way cheaper than Gucci Bloom. So I can definitely recommend this one. But anyways, that is Dossier Floral Honeysuckle, a really beautiful honeysuckle scent. And then last but not least, this is probably besides Beij Fleur, this is probably my favorite honeysuckle fragrance in my collection, or honeysuckle forward fragrance. This is a fragrance from Burberry, and this is just Burberry London. This is another one that, oh my gosh, I love this so much. I just wore this one not long ago too, because I've been super into florals. This has such a prominent honeysuckle note in it. I love this one because this one's really perfumey. This is like a sweet, perfumey floral with a very prominent honeysuckle note. The honeysuckle is what I smell first when I spray this one. And this is one that the sweet honeysuckle stays present on my skin for a good long time. It doesn't really last throughout the entire wear time, but I can definitely smell the honeysuckle on my skin at least until like the really deep dry down. I love this one. This one has probably the most like true honeysuckle note in it. I absolutely adore it. I need to get, there's one that I've been wanting from Kumba Made for a while. I think it's honeysuckle and rose, if I remember. That's a honeysuckle scent that I've been really wanting. And I need to get just like a plain honeysuckle, just like a, I don't know, like a single note honeysuckle fragrance. I wonder if Sola Notes, is that what it's called, Sola Notes? I wonder if they make a honeysuckle, just like a plain single note honeysuckle, because I need one. But anyways, you guys, those are really the only 5 honeysuckle forward fragrances that I've got in my collection. Let me know what your favorite honeysuckle scents are, or if you know of any like single note honeysuckles that are really good. I do hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.